Good morning.
Good morning.
Oops, I'm looking for my glasses.
Oh, that's okay. Hello, welcome. Oh, you're muted. You just gotta unmute yourself.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can't complain. Life is good.
Very nice. Hello, everyone.
You coming in yet?
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Daisy.
Yes, whoever comes in, maybe you can just take this time and get to know each other a little bit. If you don't mind, say your name and then we will get to know each other.
Hi, I'm Valerie Petroff. I'm the chair of the board at Tempenceville United Church in Oak Ridges at the corner of King and Bathurst.
Thank you.
I'm Hugh Adams, Emmanuel Anglican Church down on McKay Drive in south end of Richmond Hill.
Thank you.
I'm Doug Neustrat, and I pastor the Community Christian Reformed Church of Richmond Hill right on Crosby Avenue. And if you're not sure where the corner is, we're right behind the beer store, right by the hub.
Thank you. Thank you for the questionnaire that you sent in.
Oh, no problem.
I'm Garrett Branches. I'm a pastor of Bethel Canadian Reformed Church on Bayview, just north of Elgin Mills.
Thank you. We receive a lot of emails from you, and we'll continue to have that communication going.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy.
Thank you.
Good morning, Daisy. Gerald Boot. I'm one of the elders at Bethel Canadian Reformed Church, and I think I've been on a number of calls with you regarding some other matters. So I'm thankful to be here with you again. And thanks for everything you're doing.
Right to me. And thank you and welcome, welcome. This is important.
There is.
I'm Brett Pennell, pastor at Heritage Baptist Church, way up in Barrie, but happy to join with you today.
Thank you very much. I'm about to say we've got people joining us from everywhere, whether it's Barrie. We've got somebody from North Bay. Isn't it nice?
Appreciate you having this meeting.
Oh, you're welcome. It is for all of us. Let's share and we support each other. Anybody else?
Yes,
I'm
Tony
Cody
Mock.
Crebar. I'm the children's pastor at Bethel Baptist Church, Simcoe, Ontario.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome. I just saw somebody else, and yes, Introduce yourself.
James Ravenscroft, Richmond Hill United Church. So we are right in the center of Richmond Hill, corner of Yonge and Center Street.
That's great. You know what? We will have, this is only the beginning. I promise we should get together more often. I mean, we are a team. We should get together more often. There are a lot of things that I really, really want to do for the community. And perhaps you will be working together with me and let's just serve the community.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Anybody else, please?
Yes, I'm Tony Mott. I'm one of the deacons of Richmond Hill Chinese Baptist Church.
Thank you very much, Tony. I saw your name and I'm so happy to see you. You're with Reverend Jack Yuen, right?
Right, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome for joining us.
Thank you for organizing this meeting.
Oh, you're welcome. It is actually, a lot of you are sharing, so it will be great. Yes, good morning.
Morning. Hi, Daisy.
Hi, Jang. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, Pastor Jang is also the president representing the TCEMF, which is the Toronto Chinese Evangelical Ministry Fellowship, Ministerial Fellowship.
Yeah. Thank you for putting that in. However, I'd like to say that today I'm coming in as the senior pastor of Trinity Mandarin Presbyterian Church because I did not ask the authorization to represent the TCMF. But I don't mind sharing about it.
As a group to share, to support each other. So right. It's not an official, like it's, we don't have all those rituals and official thing. Let's just work together as a community to help the congregation and to help the people around us.
Yes.
Well, that's why even though I'm doing this for Richmond Hill, but anybody coming in, we welcome. That's why I've invited other people as well, even though they're not from Richmond Hill.
Okay.
Very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Can I have someone else, please?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Got it. Forgot that part. Good morning, Duncan from Richmond Hill Presbyterian Church. And I'm part of a loose ministry involving James as part of the ministry. I see James. Doug is part of the ministry on Yonge Street in downtown Richmond Hill. It's good to be here, and thank you for calling us and inviting us, Daisy.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much. You give me 5 documents, and can I share that or send it out via email down the road? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay for me to do that?
Oh, hi, yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the documents I shared with you were shared by our various denominations. So there are documents from the United Church, documents from the Presbyterian Church, I believe the Anglican Church, and also there is one kind of protocol that was circulated by a Reformed Church in Michigan. So these are just a sampling of the various approaches churches are taking to any potential reopening. And of course, yeah.
It is very, very helpful. I read through them, I highlighted them as well. And I think, oh, it will be superb if we share it with others. So perhaps they don't have to do, it will be good reference for them. Of course, everybody will have to do whatever it fits with their needs, but that will be the start. And it's very, very thorough. Can I share it with the government as well and with the parliament?
I think all these, sorry.
I will share it with my caucus members as well. Is that okay?
Yes, I think all these documents are in the public realm, so it's quite okay to use them to help others to plan their future, you know?
Thank you so much. This is why this meeting is so useful, because I'm gathering everybody together. And a lot of you had given me the questionnaire as well. So I am going, this is really a time for everyone else to share. And in fact, other than in the agenda, I have listed out a few that I had received but there are more and more questionnaires coming in, and I will still include them and ask them to share as well. So when I say I will be giving everyone, like the ones that I've listed there, for 3 minutes, you can, whether you share for 1 minute, 2 minutes, but maximum 3 minutes. So if you have only 1 minute or 2 minutes, I will have extra time for the other 4 that just have their questionnaire coming in and share with us. And thank you very much. Well, we still have a few more minutes. Can I get to know a few more? We have 3 more minutes before 11 to start.
Okay, good afternoon, MPP Daisy. I appreciate for organizing this event, really so kind of you. So my name is Aslam Badat and I represent Al-Nadwa Islamic Educational Center in Richmond Hill. We represent majority of the Muslim community in Richmond Hill.
Thank you very much. I visited your temple, and thank you very much because you have sent us a few emails and you have been communicating with Lily, and I got your questionnaire, and if you can still share with us later on, even though
Sure.
I did not warn you about this, but if you don't mind, if we have time, I would still like to have you there to share a few things with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
This is Father George Dahdouh from St. George and Orthodox Church on Bayview.
Yes, nice meeting.
We are the Orthodox Church St. George. We have been there for 30 years. Last year, we celebrated 30 years being in Richmond Hill.
We have to get together more after
Yes.
the COVID is gone.
Well, thank you for organizing this. And it's so nice to see so many people. I hope to meet them all in person one day.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Nice
Sure.
having you here.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Chris King. I'm from Emmanuel Church, Anglican Church in Richvale, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much for organizing the meeting.
Thank you so much for joining us. So happy to have your questionnaire. And I would hope that you can share that with us later on as well. We'll see how the time goes, okay?
I just want to say hi and to everybody this morning,
Sure.
and thank you, Daisy.
Yes.
And I'm Stephen, one of the pastors of Richmond Hill Christian Community Church. And to all the friends here, good morning. I'll be with you. Salam alaikum.
Thank you, man. I go to this church, and I understand that our church has 2 other pastors joining us as well. And thank you so much.
Yes, we have Pastor Mamie and also Julian.
Yes, I understand. Thank you so much for all of you for you share a lot of information with me already, and I'm sure we can all take away a lot of stuff from everybody's sharing.
Thank you, Daisy, for your work.
Well,
God bless. We've been praying for you guys.
anyone else, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shaniza Kanji. I represent York Region Muslims, the majority of Muslims around the whole of York Region. I also wear 2 hats. I'm also representing today the Islamic Society of York Region in Northern Richmond Hill, which has a capacity of thousands of congregants that gather for Friday prayers and Eid. And we have a vast majority of our congregants are from Richmond Hill and also from around the entire York region. And you received our questionnaire from the Islamic Society of York Region as well. And we're happy to be here to contribute.
Thank you so much. You had already contributed with your questionnaire, and I thank you for that. And I will be asking you to share a little bit with us as well down the road. Okay, now I see that it's 11:01, and if you allow me, I will just start. And greetings to all of you, and thank you very much for joining us. This is a meeting that we have all the different all the different pastors, from the Muslims community, from the Jewish community, from different communities joining us. So I am really, really thankful. We understand that this is a time that because of the COVID-19, we have to stop. We have to have, other than the social distance, we cannot meet for a while. I understand some of the worship places, they have been using the Zoom meetings like what we have, or whatever online mechanism, but it's still not the same as meeting face to face. We understand this, we're working on this, and I do have people calling me, and especially a lot of them, they say the seniors are really expecting us to continue having the meetings. But seniors are the most vulnerable, and I don't want them to come in and then they have the virus. So we are doing it very, very carefully. The health is the #1 priority for us, and we'll make sure we organize it. And this is why we have this meeting. We'd like to share all the good ideas so that we can do everything together in the right way. We need those spiritual nourishment, but we will do this properly. Now, I am so thankful that we have this meeting today. I actually have 36 or even more now, maybe about 40 participants today. And they come from maybe about 30 different places of worship. We have people from Christian community, Catholic community, Muslim community, Jewish, Islamic, like if I miss anything, anybody, pardon me, but we are all in here together to find a way to help our congregants to make sure that they can have the meeting started up again, but do it in a safe way. We have a common goal, and we are here to help our community. So now, without further ado, I would like to, if I can ask Anthony to put up the attendance list, so at least we know who are here. Anthony, can you share that onto the screen?
Yep, should be able to see it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it is a very, very small type, but I believe I have sent it to you, so at least you have an idea. But then even after I sent it to you this morning, I have a few more that I've added. And I'm so thankful that everyone is so eager to join. And I do have people like, people say, for example, from Barrie asking me, can I join? I don't hear that this is something going on in my writing. Whoever, just come in, and we are here to serve the community. I am doing it focusingly on Richmond Hill, but I'm sure other MPPs are doing the same thing. Or if they are not doing it, they might have other reason or purpose, or they are doing it in different ways, but all are welcome. I do not think I can go down the list for too much, because it will be too long a list to repeat. I would rather spend the time and save the time so that we can really go into the important things, which is how to open up our worship places so that our congregants will be in a safe and a secured environment. So I started off, if you don't mind, I will start off with those who sent in the questionnaire to me. And I thank you so much for those who sent in the questionnaire. And as I say, I still receive a few more coming in, even last night or a couple of days ago, and I just include them into my agenda. Perhaps, Anthony, would you mind to share the agenda, please? Would you mind to change it into the agenda?
Yep, I heard you, Daisy. I was accidentally muted.
I understand. It would take a little bit of time, but then what I have here is I will started it off with, in fact, I did send out this email earlier asking those who have sent in the questionnaire to share with us what they have listed for about 3 minutes. But 3 minutes is the maximum. But if you can do it within 1 or 2 or 3, that will be great. I did have the Presbyterian Church sharing with us for like about 10 minutes because you've got 5 documents. But if you think that we are going to send those documents to everybody to share, then you can cut it back to less time if you don't mind. Or
3 minutes is fine.
whatever. Sorry?
3 minutes is fine. Thank you.
It's okay. Whatever time you take, you will be the last one on the list. You can do that final summary, and whatever time we have will be good there. I basically allowing for I think it's about half an hour or 20 minutes. Anyway, we'll just go with that. And with the first one I have on the list, I'm sorry, I'll have to take off my glasses to read properly, is Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama at Canada. Sorry if I do not pronounce it properly. Can you correct me on that? Can I invite you to start speaking for us, please? I have Asif Khan in there. Is he here with us yet? Well, if he's not here with us yet, then I will go to, actually, I can go to the Community Christian Reformed Church, which is Doug. Thank you very much, Doug.
Yeah, no, Daisy, we appreciate this. Much like the documents with Duncan, we've done a lot of preparatory work, no final document. But one thing I hope that we'll all think about that we're not hearing coming out of my sister churches in the United States is a lot of the churches are saying, we want to open, we want to open. But I hope that as the churches in Canada and the mosques.
Excuse me, sorry, can I ask Anthony to remove that so we can see Pastor Stuck faces as you talk? Thank you.
I'm hoping that as different faith backgrounds, we will really ask the question, what does it really mean to love our neighbor? That's our whole opening plan. And we know that loving God and loving our neighbor tie in together, and how we open is profound. We have one chance to open well. And it will either say that we care more about getting back to our religious services, or it's about loving God and loving our neighbor. And so we've made a very clear plan that we are doing all summer camps online. We're going to suspend children's ministry for the time being. We're going to have masks at the door, sanitizer at the door, gloves at the door, where we can sit 350 in our sanctuary. We are going to have no more than 100 on a Sunday, if we're allowed that number by the province. We're going to have multiple services. We are going to offer online viewership until we get to 1 or 2 viewers. For us, the whole idea is let's do this well, because it will say how much we love our neighbor. But one of the things, Daisy, and I know in the province of Alberta, as they've reopened, they have not allowed churches to sing. Or chanting, or mass group vocal prayers aren't being allowed if you read the government of Alberta's openings document. And so we're looking at it saying, if you were to allow us to do that, if everyone is wearing a mask, would that be acceptable? If on our stage where a worship team leads, if we put plexiglass to block it, would that be allowed? If we brought in air purifiers to affect and clean the air more frequently, would that make it something where we could still love our neighbor, but also do something, whether it is chanting, whether it's group prayers, whether it is group singing, is fundamental to Christian worship. To do it well, would those precautions be something the government would think about, that would allow the essence of what is a key part of worship to be allowed?
Definitely. What you are suggesting, it will go into, I'm doing all these to gather the information to give it to Minister McNaughton. He is the one that has done all the guidelines, even for the businesses, for everybody in around here. So all these information will be passed on to Minister McNaughton. He is going to exactly what you suggested, that he will think about that as well and will give us all the guidelines. The guidelines will be coming out. But before we doing the guidelines, we always like to gather the information from the people to make sure that the plans that we are doing is not just from this level and then stuffing it down the throat. It has to be from all of you giving what you think is the right thing, and then we'll do our best. Talking about the PPE or the plexi covers, I also come across the city of Richmond Hill is introducing that to me, that we do have a Richmond Hill company that do plexiglass shield that is really with high quality, has been all approved. And you might look it up and just check that if that is something that you want to have when you use that, if that is allowed, so that this will be covered as you sing. That again, we will let you know. This company, you can check it out with the city of Richmond Hill. And I'm sure if we have a group, maybe he can offer that at a very, very low price for all of us. I don't know. But it's good when we say shop locally, we're also supporting businesses locally, supporting our neighbors in this area as well. So thank you very much. And may I pass on to the next one, the Light on the Hill, St. John the Baptist.
And just, Daisy, just so you know, I'm here. It's Asif Khan from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. I had some technical difficulties before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then would you mind to share with us now, please?
Sure, myself, Asif. Is that okay if I go ahead?
Oh, yes, please. We're here, just see ourselves as neighbors, that we're working together to support each other. Thank you.
Yeah, so we shared our document. You know, we have a pretty robust messaging system that we can get messages out to all of our members, either through phone calls, WhatsApp groups, email systems. So we've got the ability to communicate what is required when and if the places of worship in our mosques are opened up. Now, that being said, much like probably many of our other faithgoers here, we will have controlled numbers. Sorry?
No, it's okay.
We will have controlled numbers that will come in as per province guidelines. We will have temperature checks at the doors. We will have lineups with the distancing to enter in an orderly fashion so that we don't have crowds coming in. It's one at a time. Hand sanitizer stations at the beginning. A mosque's primary objective is worship, and worship in the sense of the 5 daily prayers. So what we would request at an initial opening guideline is that the 5 prayer times is when the mosque would be open. Any of our other meetings that we would have would be done virtually. We would not be holding them until such time that it would be deemed safe. And then when inside the mosque, when everyone has entered, we would have physical distancing where everyone would be spaced out on the carpet. We're going to ask that everybody bring their own prayer mats. The one thing about a mosque is the imam, when he's leading the prayer, he's facing away from everybody. So there's no issue of having, you know, your voice and air travel from one's mouth to others. And then when it's time to leave, we've also suggested that it'll be row by row. And of course, the imam will then direct, you know, which row would be leaving. And of course, the rows are physically distanced as well. And the mosque will only be used for prayers. So I don't know if there's any questions in terms of how else we would do things. And we've also suggested that if our mosque in Vaughan, if you wanted to use it as a test site for having a pop-up COVID testing as well, we would be more than welcome to have that. And
I'll let them know.
Yeah, I thought you said that's a no, and I go, oh, that's pretty abrupt.
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, I think I've kind of covered our points. I have Mr. Shahid Mansour on the line as well. If I've missed anything, Shahid, you can mention it. If he's not
Hi there.
anything.
Yeah, I'm unmuted now. So I hope everybody can hear me. It's just pretty much you covered everything. Thanks, Asif. Just a couple of more things. We will have masks also. So when the worshippers come to the mosque, they will use the masks. So that's a given, and we will abide by any rules of the local authorities and the government, whatever the rules are in any of the province in Canada. So we will abide by that for any means or any measures. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, Asif, and thanks, Daisy.
Thank you very much. I just want to add is all the questionnaire that you have sent to me, they will all be given to Mr. as well. And whatever we discussed today, I'm thankful that I have Anthony doing all the recording. He will also send out a copy of this to all of you who have attended, so everybody knows what's going on. And this is really a time for us to share information so that we can do it better. And I know a lot of you are planning what is the best way to approach it. So this is a good time for us to work together as a team. Now, can I now go back to Light on a Hill, St. John the Baptist, please?
Yes. My name is Tammy Friesen. I'm from St. John Light on the Hill.
Thank you.
I'm reporting on Adam's report, so you'll have to bear with me if I'm not quite as articulate as I could be in this.
No. We got your stuff. It is very good.
We are part of the Anglican Diocese of Toronto, and as such, we're under their guidelines for when we can open and what we can do. And we just actually yesterday received notification that we will not be opening until September at the earliest, no matter what happens governmentally. So that put pause to a lot of our plans. It was giving us some more room to really work hard at making sure when we do open, we're doing it right. We're looking at potentially doing things like drive-in services outdoor, where we would be able to do things that were distanced, but still we could see one another and be close. We've been doing our services on Zoom with our pastor doing live sermons from his office and his house. And it's been fantastic, actually, as far as it goes. We've had great turnout. I would say close to our normal weekly attendance, if not more, on some weeks through Zoom, so which has been fantastic. Reopening is a bit tough in our building. It's an old building. We've got a very small sanctuary, tight pews, but we're really working hard at finding ways of making distancing possible, and doing more services throughout the day to bring fewer people in, lining people up, hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, all of the one entrance, one exit, making sure our greeters are well versed in how to keep people distanced and safe. So we're just keeping things. We're pivoting. You know, everyone's heard that so many times the last little while. I'm sure that's our every time we hear something new, we change our plans. So we're blessed. We've got a fantastic executive director who is on top of everything all the time, and we've always got new ideas coming out. So as we get them, we can forward them on to you if you'd like, Daisy, and then you'll know what's going on here.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as I say, I really like to continue to get together with each one of you and as a group after the COVID-19 is under control. And you're right, having them in different, like more services throughout the day maybe. And I don't mean to get the pastor working them like from 7 in the morning up to 7 in the evening. Perhaps you can tape it and play some of it, and it will still be nice for the congregation to still get together in a different way.
And we're also planning on still doing, we think we could still do Zoom anyway, even when things are back to normal. We're going to keep doing it that way so that those people who are high risk and are afraid to go out, even once things settle, that they still have access.
Thank you very much, Tammy, for sharing with us. And actually, I have to give the credit. Adam is the first one responded to me, and then he surprised the questionnaire. And please thank him for me. Here's the first one responded, yes, I want to attend, but he finally say he had another event that he has to go. But I'm so glad that you can be with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, maybe I will pass on to the next one. We have CY Yan, if you can share with us. And thank you again, CY. You are basically almost the second one responding to me with your questionnaire. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear. Let me just say that I'm one of those people who wear multiple hats, and I'm a leader in a Christian organization. I'm also still a pastor of a pretty small church. And so I'm really thankful for the opportunity to share some of our thoughts here. I just want to say that the whole time we are talking about reopening our churches. The reality is our churches have never been closed. Ministry has been going on. Okay, our buildings are closed, but the churches have always been open. So we're really talking about regathering as opposed to reopening, and how to do it in a safe way and in a responsible way. One of the things that I do want to say is that I was taken aback a little when I found out that church and ministries are not regarded as essential service. In my mind, we are very essential. And if we keep, our buildings closed for too long, there's going to be a spiritual cost and an emotional cost to people who rely heavily on churches and ministries. But of course, we don't want to rush into it. And I think that's the purpose of this whole meeting. How do we do this responsibly? And as one of the other pastors who came before me said earlier, we want to show that we love our neighbors. So, we want to do this with a lot of thoughts. Now, I think there are a few high-risk areas that we have identified, and some of them have been well covered. And so I don't want to repeat anything that has been said already, okay? We've talked a lot about corporate singing, and that's a high-risk area. One of the things that we do in Christian churches is communion. And I think that demands a bit more thought. And one of the options that we have is to do individual packing, okay? And we've done that before. So instead of everybody sharing or taking from the same plate or taking from, the same device, we can give out individual packages. And we can do it in a touchless way. Okay, yeah, we can have people line up and take it and then return everything in a different spot, that type of thing. So, there are ways to do communions in a very responsible way. We are also talking about the vulnerable people, maybe people who are elderly and people who have pre-existing conditions. We're also talking about children. But I think the reality is that even when churches regather, we'll be doing that in a very different way. And I think churches in general, because of our experience in the last few weeks, we've learned to use online platforms well. And I can't see ourselves closing down our online platforms. So we might go into a hybrid mode. We do our in-person meetings. For people who are high risk, who are vulnerable, and even for children, we can still offer online options to minister to them. An organization put out something called Teens Conference recently, and that's shortly after the lockdown happened. They decided within a couple of days to put everything online, okay? And the participants really enjoyed that experience. And so we can do our children ministry that way as well. So yeah, I think that's everything I want to highlight. And there's one area of concern that I might need more guidance on, but that could be done offline. And it's weddings, okay? A lot of couples, they've spent the last 1, 2, or 3 years planning for a big wedding, and now everything is closed down. How can we do weddings in a way that's safe? Reducing the capacity to maybe 1/3 is normal, doing physical distancing, that type of thing. And so this is something that I feel we need a bit more guidance on from the provincial government. So that's all I have to say. I think I've used up more than my 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. You've got a lot of very, very insightful areas. We will make sure, weddings is something that I have a lot of people asking me the questions. So we are looking into that, weddings and funeral as well. Those are the two important stage of somebody's life. And I always tell myself, for any people, any funeral service or wedding ceremonies, I will make sure whatever I have other events, I'll make sure I find time to attend. So it is a very difficult time for couples that have planned for a long time for this big day. And I'll definitely come back to you with all the information. In fact, I still remember Father George, you've been asking me, I will make sure I'll get back to you. Yeah, I understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the next I have is St. Christopher's Anglican Church. St. Christopher Anglican Church, I have Pastor Philip Dare. Maybe he gave me the information, but he cannot make it this morning. It's okay. Then we save 3 minutes. The next one we have is the Temperanceville United Church.
Hi, Daisy, and thanks very much for hosting this. My name is Valerie Petrov, and I'm the chair of the board for the Temperanceville United Church. We are a very old church. It is it used to be part of Love's Corners at Bathurst and King, and it was part of a 5-point horseback ministry at that point. Things have changed over the years, but our building is very small, it's very old, and our congregation is small, but we are actually very active. We're kind of a half rural, half urban kind of church. One of the things that has come out during this, obviously we're part of the broader United Church, so we've had some guidelines, and our regional council has done a lot of weekly updates for lay leaders, as well as the ministry as well. We only have one paid part-time minister, and we've managed to be able to keep her through the wage subsidy program, so we appreciate that from the government. Although I think most ministers will agree, and most congregations will agree, that the ministers are doing it well more than they used to do for, when we were meeting in person. So we deeply appreciate all the ministerial leaders. One of the things we've done is our minister is amazing, but she is not very high tech. But the worship committee has rallied around, and so we don't have weekly services via Zoom, but we have sort of regular celebrations. So every 2 to 3 weeks on special Sundays or what have you, we might have a Zoom celebration. And as someone mentioned before, we actually have as many people come out as we used to in person, and sometimes more. And we have more kids actually coming when it's on Zoom. It's a lot easier to just roll out of bed. So one of the things that has come out of with our board meetings is that we are in absolutely no rush to reopen in person. We recognize that the average age of our congregational members is at least 65 to 70, if not older. And we do not want to have anybody put in a position where they feel, okay, we're starting to open, I should go back. So we don't want that to happen. But we also recognize that some of those same people are not high tech. And so that has been difficult. Our minister has stepped in and ramped up her pastoral relations. So she actually contacts people on a regular basis. And between her and I, we just started sending out emails, and we now do a daily newsletter. Every evening we send out, it's called Keeping in Touch at Temperanceville. And the response we've had is amazing. And we have people responding to that more than other things. From a practical perspective, because we're small, we're not sure how we would reopen safely. We would have to be very mindful of the very close quarters. Our pews, even if we squished everybody in, don't even don't even allow for 100 people anyways. And we don't use our balcony anymore because it's not safe. But there are ways, and we have started thinking of ways of how to physically distance. And we have started considering that perhaps we could at least do something outside. We have lots of grounds around us that we could probably do, whether it's a service or just a gathering. And then from the PPE perspective, we have hand sanitizer, stuff like that. A number of our ladies, our craft ladies, are making masks. So that's their way that they feel they can contribute. And so that we would certainly have that. Beyond that, so things like plexiglass and that, budget would be very tight. So I don't know if there would be anything from the government to, even from a loan perspective, or might be through the United Church as well, where we could at least have some money up front to help us, you know, in that sense, to at least start coming safely back. I do agree with what a couple of other people said, is that I believe that we will continue, once we reopen it, will continue as a hybrid. I don't know what that would look like for us, because we are not high tech inside the church either, both from a, we just don't, it's not feasible from a financial perspective or even a physical perspective to even have like put screens up on our walls or anything like that. It's very small. So I guess that's it. We're in no rush to reopen. We are fully in support of doing it cautiously and mindfully, and we are following the public health guidelines strictly. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Valerie. We are in it together. So I'll be contacting you afterwards and see how I can support you with mask, or maybe get the community to work together. Some of us can either sew mask, or they can contribute special funding to support that. As I say, that business in Richmond Hill, he produced the face shields as well as mask. Okay. And perhaps he can offer that at a good price, and perhaps I can fundraise something so that our seniors can get protection. Yes. And another thing that I have learned from my husband, we cannot visit our mother-in-law in the long-term care. Mm-hmm. It is hard, other than Skyping or other than touching her hands over, separated by the window. There is one thing that she really enjoy, and you can use that same thing and send to your seniors, are pictures. He has been doing a lot of the pictures that we have and send it to her. And as she see it, she will be smiling and laughing. So right. I would suggest when you send out your daily newsletter, instead of writing a lot of words, you know, whatever pictures, ask them to send you the pictures, send the pictures, and everybody can share. It will be a good time for us to communicate in a different way.
You're absolutely right, Daisy, and we have done that as well with our newsletters. And to the ladies that normally plant our flower gardens, we told them how they could do it safely, stay apart, etc. And so they took a picture of the flowers that they planted, and we sent that along with the newsletter as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
That's great. I guess I still have perhaps...
Oh, Daisy?
Maximum, yes?
Just would like to bring to your attention, Philip Dare has entered the chat.
Oh, okay. Hi, Pastor Philip Dare. How are you? That's great. Maybe we'll have 3 more people to speak, and I still have some of them that they did give me the questionnaire, but I don't think I can include everybody. Not unless if you don't mind to stay after 12. Thumbs up if you think you can stay after 12, or I can ask them to share after we finish everything. Is that better? Just so that we move along. Okay, some people say they cannot stay. So maybe I will just continue on then. I'll just get 3 more people to speak. Pastor Doug, for sure, for all that he has given us, and Pastor Philip Dare that he just come in. And also I would like to have Aslam sharing with us, because he has been he did send in his questionnaire a little bit just a day ago, but still it is important for me to hear from him as well. So if you don't mind, can I ask Aslam to share, and then after that will be Pastor Philip Dare, and then we will have Pastor Doug closing this section with us. Is that okay? Is Aslam there, please? Aslam. It is from the El Awada Education Islamic Center. Is he here with us? But I do have his questionnaire. If he's not here, then I can definitely send his information to the minister. This whole exercise is really for Minister McNaughton to have all your ideas and information. When he set the guidelines, it will be accordingly. And also, if we have anything that you raise and we cannot meet, we'll come back and answer and explain that back to you. Now, if that is the case, is Aslam there, please?
Daisy, this is Asif from the Ahmadiyya community. While maybe Aslam is trying to get his unmute button done, I just wanted to offer from us to all of the faith communities.
Right.
We have hundreds of volunteers. So when and if places are allowed to open up again, if they need help with, providing assistance with allowing people in, doing the face masks, doing the hand sanitizer, orderly entry and exit, we will have volunteers available to anyone, to help facilitate that if they don't have it themselves.
Thank you so much for that offer. This is what I call community. And I am really looking forward to work with all of you on a lot of things that we can make our community better. As the business open, there are a lot of needs here. How can we help them so they're not closing down? Or how we were talking about the special need children at one point. How can we all put our hands together to help the parents, to help those that have children with special needs? So those are the things that down the road, I have a lot of things that I need your help. And I'm so excited that we have this event today. Thank you very much. And I will make sure I'll pass on the questionnaire that you have filled in to the minister. And
if I could also add, online on the internet, we have a program called Helping Neighbors. So I think it's called helpingneighbors.com if you Google that. So if anybody requires assistance with getting medicines picked up, groceries picked up, needs masks or PPE material, we will actually deliver it to them. There's a 1-800 number on the website. They can just call. And this is not just here, this is across Canada with all of our chapters.
Thank you so much. Can you send me an email as well on this? And I'll make sure I'll pass that on to everybody attending here. And I also have some that cannot make it today. I'll make sure I'll pass it on as well. This is what we are putting our hands together and support each other. So is Pastor Philip Deher there, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm Philip.
Hi.
Sorry, I have another Zoom meeting on the other side.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so you want a summary of my questionnaire?
Or whatever you can suggest for us. It's a sharing time now, but if you don't mind to confine that into 2 minutes.
Okay. Yep, very quickly that as we all know that we, if we really can reopen, we will certainly just follow the guidelines that wear mask, hand sanitizer, as we all know. And yes, maybe the shortage of masks, and I noticed some Chinese grocery store, they sell masks. Just on Monday, I went to Besco, which is Huntingwood and Brimley. They offer $40 for 50 masks, a box of masks of 50, and which is a very reasonable price. And I heard TNT, they also offer masks. And so for sure that we need to buy some whoever does not wear masks to come in, then we can offer them that. We also, in addition to worship, we are thinking whether we can also like open ping pong if keeping physical distancing. And in the Anglican Church, I'm from St. Christopher's Anglican Church, and we are under the bishop's order that we cannot open our church until September, just released on Monday. So we will follow that guideline, but certainly we want to make sure that we keep physical distancing, probably like we have a small washroom, so only 2 people in the washroom only, and we have 2 sinks, and only make sure that one of them could be used rather than 2 at the same time. So basically, I think public health have taught us a lot and be aware of that. And most of our members are very conscious. Even before the lockdown, many of our members already stopped coming because they, in the Chinese community, particularly from Hong Kong, that many of us have gone through SARS, and so very conscious about that. And so even though we encourage them to come back, probably they won't come back until there's a vaccine. So that's the reality in my congregation. So right now we are trying to adopt in the online, through Zoom or Skype, small group gathering. We still continue to meet most of our groups. Yeah, prayer meeting and all of them continues. Yeah.
Thank you for playing everything so safe and secure for your congregation. We understand you're not the only one that suggested about September. And all these information will be passed on to our Minister McNaughton. And I don't know if our Minister, Michael Tobolo, is here yet. Michael,
Actually, he is, Daisy. That's what I was just going to let you know. The minister has joined in on the conversation.
Oh, that's great. But before the minister speak to us, Minister Michael Tobolo is in health, mental health. He's our Minister for Mental Health. When we have our Ministry of Health, we see that mental health is so important. We understand that when we have so many, whether it's seniors or anybody who would not used to be going to church, meeting with their friends and meeting with their spiritual partners and meeting with pastors, talking about things that they need. If they're staying at home all the time, mentally, they need some help as well. That's why our minister is with us today. But before I get my minister here, I would love to have the best for the last. That is from Pastor Doug. He has sent us so many, like as I say, 5 documents, and I'm going to share that. But can I ask him to speak to us first, and then I'll share those documents to all of you and email them to you? Can I have Pastor Doug to speak to us now?
I think you mean Duncan, Daisy.
Oh, I mean Pastor Duncan. I mean, yes.
I'll talk, but hey.
Pastor Duncan James Jared? Close?
I think I'm on, yeah.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
I don't know why you say the best for last. The first could be last and all that stuff.
Always mixing up when I have the word D, then I will refer that to, yeah, it should be Pastor Duncan. I'm sorry.
Just wanted to say that, yeah, thank you so much, MPP Way, for gathering us in this way. It's a delight to see the mosaic of faces on my little Zoom thing here, and the groups from different faiths and different denominations. It's such a good thing just to get together. And I know that we're all guided by concern for the people who come to our churches or our mosques, and that should be the principal factor. A question which perhaps you could pass on to the health people, and this came from my wife, who said, you know, people love to sing in church, but we're being told that this is a way of spreading our droplets. What if we hum? You know, just if we keep our mouths closed, especially behind our masks, and we hum, well, we might, you know, maybe stamp our feet or clap our hands, depending on our kind of proclivities. Then perhaps we can worship the Creator in a different way and still have that need to worship the Creator satisfied in some way. So that was one question. Thank you, those who are using masks. Our ladies are manufacturing masks, so we hope that we can ask them nicely and they'll have some ready for us. But I think basically everything that I would have said, based on the 5 documents, which are just documents that were circulated at our ministerial, covering the churches on Yonge Street, that you can read them at your own leisure. There's a lot of talking in them, and basically most of them are guided by welfare, but by the principle of welfare and care. And I think that's the way it should be. So I'm just going to wish you all a very healthy and safe few weeks until normality, if it ever returns. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Duncan. And I would like to say thank you to Susan Johnson as well. She has been very, very helpful, and she has actually attended the Mayor Prayer Breakfast with us. This, like the month of May, we're supposed to have our Mayor Prayer Breakfast, but because of COVID-19, we have to stop it. But yeah, we will still be doing things in a different way. And the way we're gathering here today is really helping us to do things. Maybe this is an opportunity to do things bigger and better. And let's work together. Thank you very much, Pastor Duncan. I got it right this time. So now, without further ado, may I invite our minister, Minister Michael Tabolo. As I say, he is our Minister of Mental Health. And can I ask him to say a few words to us? And we have just finished all the sharing. He just have a caucus meeting before he comes in. That's why he just be able to join us now. So if after he speak for perhaps about 5 minutes, then I will take my time a little bit to tell you a little bit of the guidelines that the government has been giving us to all the faith community. So without further ado, can I invite and have our ministers speaking to us, please?
Thank you, Daisy, and good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today to speak to all of you. As Daisy mentioned, I'm the minister responsible for mental health and addictions in the province. And I want to start off, I've done about 6 of these roundtables so far, that I'm very concerned about people's spirituality, their mental health, and some of the things that we're tracking. And I want to say thank you, because when it comes to dealing with a lot of issues that people aren't comfortable dealing with online through some of the services that we picked up, I know that a lot of the work is being done by you. It's being done by the funeral directors when it comes to grief counseling, because there just aren't any other services available other than what's available virtually. Your role is extremely important, and it's going to become even more important as this, while we may get the COVID-19 under control with positive tests and the number of people that are passing away as a result of it, we know that there is a tsunami coming with respect to mental health and addictions. We're seeing it already. I believe in God, and I believe in following and living a life that has values attached to the things we do, and motivating people intrinsically with faith. One of the things that is of concern is that places of worship aren't open, and so people are missing that in their lives. We do not have AA meetings and NA meetings. The 12-step meetings are not taking place. We are monitoring the numbers very closely. I'm part of the command table for mental health for the province, which feeds into all the other command tables, whether it be business or whatever other health, whatever other aspect we are looking at and trying to ensure we're ahead of any potential issues. And we are seeing suicide rates. Well, actually, they're kind of stable. They haven't increased exponentially or as much as the other issues have increased. We know that anxiety and depression right now is at the highest it's ever been, 65% more call for services than we've ever had historically in the province. We've invested about $12 million into the helplines to try to provide more supports to individuals in a way that we can provide given the social distancing rules that we've put in place. But we also recognize the fact that it's not enough, and there will be more that's being done from the standpoint of rolling out through this next phase what we're going to do with respect to meetings in places like places of worship and community centers and anywhere where people congregate for meetings for support. It's really important that we respect the rules with respect when it comes to the social distancing, when it comes to ensuring the, the distancing between people, the comment with respect to singing. I mean, people feel good when they sing. So as the Minister of Mental Health, to say someone you can't sing because it increases the projection of, the droplets to the point where you could infect someone else. Unfortunately, we're going to have to live within the confines of what the rules are. I don't know what Dr. Williams will say about humming under a mask, but we can ask. But we need to find solutions. But at the end of the day, and I can't emphasize this enough, we need to get the ability to come together, even with social distancing, to be able to share some thoughts, to be able to praise God and remember the things that we were taught and that are part of our lives, that we need to have those practices put back in place, because that gives individuals strength. I recognize that, and believe me, I've been lobbying. These roundtables were being, they needed to be done. However, I insisted they got done as quickly as possible because I need to move this forward, not only from the standpoint of reestablishing the faith communities around the place of worship, but also to provide those opportunities where people can start to talk to each other again, can start to see each other again, because we have to continue building on that hope. We have to continue building on allowing people to feel strength by being around other people, by sharing experiences. And it's not the same when you do it, quite frankly, by Zoom, Facebook, Skype. We're creatures that need to have that contact with other people. So we're working hard to ensure that we put something in place as quickly as possible, keeping in mind safety of individuals, which is why the suggestions that you're bringing forward that will be shared with the Minister of Labor are going to inform Dr. Williams in terms of what people who are leaders in their community are prepared to do to have their places of worship opened again, and that's how we're going to convince the chief medical officer. If we just ask the question, can you open them up? I know the answer will be no, but when it's well informed, based on the leaders of the different communities coming together and saying this is what we're prepared to do, it puts a different perspective in front of the chief medical officer, which will give us hopefully the answer we want and open the services again. And again, I just want to finish off by saying that all of you are frontline workers. All of you also have need for supports. Ontario.ca will provide you a list, and I'll share it with Daisy so she can send it out to you, so that if you have parishioners and individuals that need help, that you feel you need support to be able to help them, there'll be numbers that they can call that will provide those supports. In addition, there is a line that's specifically set up for frontline workers. And again, in this case, I consider you all frontline workers, where you can get support yourself, because I would imagine right now for all of you, it must be overwhelming having to deal with families that are, that have loved ones that have passed away, that haven't had the appropriate funeral arrangements or the appropriate grieving time available. This is all going to fall on your shoulders. And I recognize that, we recognize that, and there are supports out there that will help you as well deal with the stress that it will have on your lives. And again, we're here to help and provide whatever supports and services we can as a government. And it's more than just the financial side. It's also the fact to be there and to provide you with other supports that will wrap around and help the needs of the individuals. So thank you all for, Daisy, for inviting me to this, and for all of you for giving me a few moments to speak about my views and where I hope to be post-pandemic.
Thank you very much for your sharing on behalf of our government and on behalf of our Premier. It is so important for us. Mental health is the #1 priority for us, and especially among the seniors too. They realize that this virus is really, they are really at risk for it. and when they are all by themselves without even being able to go to their worship places, it is challenging. I am looking at the time, and I want to commit to the time that I have for this event. We say we'll finish at 12, and I will try to do that. I've only got about 3 minutes to do so. I'm supposed to talk about 10 minutes on the guidance of places for worship. I don't think I can finish going through everything, but I will send this document to you. Please read it for yourself so you know all the questions can be answered. It's basically a lot of questions that people will be asking. Why are we not reopening the places of worship? Like Reverend CY was asking, like, this is essential service. Why are we not opening it? Yes, we realize that, as what our minister is saying, but the health and well-being of the people of Ontario is so important for us. It is our top priority, and we are following everything as suggested by our Chief Medical Officer. And especially when we have a group setting we will have so many people together, we do not want to have them spreading the virus from one end to another. Especially with this virus, there are so many silent carrier. They seem to be okay, even if you do the temperature and everything, but you don't know that they have the virus. And we are really concerned that this will pass on to the seniors. So it's so important. But we are going to still open it up with careful measures. But that's why we have this meeting to gather all the information. And our minister, Monty McNaughton, is going to put together the guidelines for us. Our next, some of the other question is, when will the government announce the plan to reopen? I just mentioned, it is not really up to us. It will be, we're following the medical officer's advice, and at the same time working together with all our pastors, all the churches, all the temples, and all the mosques, just to make sure that we are all covered. And I'm so happy to see that a lot of you are very well organized, not only within your own places of worship, that you are ready and willing to share some of your resources, like helping seniors, buying stuff, getting prescriptions, and also having volunteers to help us. Thank you so much. This is what we need. How can you submit more ideas to the government? Please, you can easily submit this to the Ministry of Labor, Training, and Skills Development. And this is Minister Monty McNaughton. He will be discussing this with our Chief Medical Officer, and you can submit this directly to us or give it to me. That will be great. You know what? I can see it's 12 o'clock. I can just hear the bell ringing from the church just right next to me. So maybe what I will do is, instead of going through all of them, I will pass this on to you. But allow me to very, very quickly say this one, though. I'm sure you already know. This is about the drive-in service. You already heard what we are, that we say we are encouraging you for the drive-in service. But again, there will be a lot of rules and regulation. We encourage you that you may only be in a vehicle with others that is part of the same household. The drivers must ensure that the vehicles are at least 2 meters apart, and gatherings can only be performed by a maximum of 5 people. Persons conducting the gatherings must ensure that any buildings at the place attended to religious gatherings are closed. So even though there are people that might want to use the washroom, they cannot get into that building. While no materials can be passed between participants, and if it, because we are concerned that paper can still carry the COVID-19 virus. And if individuals of the of their religious belief do not use motor vehicles, then they must remain in their non-motorized vehicles and follow the above rules. And our government continue to take a cautious and balanced approach. So let's work together. And I would say this is only the beginning of our gathering in a different way. I'll come back to you, not only just on about the places of worship, but about how we can support each other in the community, helping those who need. And especially, I'm so happy to hear about the volunteers that are being suggested that you can share with us. And I know that the different churches has been giving out masks and PPEs to Mackenzie Health or other places in need or senior homes. And you also have different places that they can share some of the things that they have. So let's work together. And what we have discussed today, for sure, I'll be sending you a report, and I will be sending you a link to all that we have discussed today. Plus, I will send you the 5 reports that is provided to us by Pastor Duncan. Pastor Duncan, I got it correct this time. Pastor Duncan, I say it 3 times so to make up for what the mistake that I have made. And with that, I think I will end today, not unless I have special request from somebody that they want to speak up to the community.
Yes, Daisy, good afternoon.
Yes.
This is Aslam Badat from...
Just now.
Hello, everyone. I see many of the familiar faces. This is Aslam Badat from Adla Nadwa Islamic Center, Richmond Hill.
Yes.
I will not say any on social adhering social distances, finances, support, nor does the PPP material, because everyone time is here valuable. Al-Nadwa Islamic Center is offering service online since inceptions of this virus, especially the month of Ramadan, which is the holy month in our calendar.
Yes.
We did online service. Now, this holy month Ramadan is very important month for us because we fast from dusk to dawn.
Yeah.
So that important month has been lost in our faith, but nevertheless, whatever is the reality, there's a reality. Whatever is there now, we have to take it there. We offer our girls, volunteer girls, through WhatsApp group. It's called Angels of York Region. They are serving the whole Richmond, whole York region for the needs of grocery, medicine, or any PPE material. The important here is that the community needs to go back towards a place to supplicate to Almighty God, who is sustainer and protector from the daily routine. As we are facing the cluster of mental health, depression, and so on and so forth, we have to find the common ground so that we can go back to help who must need it. And we are ready. Any conditions from the government, we're ready to work. Thanks for taking my time, and thanks for organizing.
Thank you very much for attending, and thank you all for attending, and thank you for sending in your questionnaire. In fact, I have to acknowledge that there are a few other community that churches that have sent me the questionnaire, like the Meeting House, like the United Church, like the Bethel Church, and I might not be able to share all of your, or have you to share with us today, but all your information will be passed on to the minister. And thank you so much for coming today, and we'll get together again.
Thank you.
Maybe in a different kind of setting. Give me some suggestions what we can do and what we should do, and I'll definitely arrange that too with us. Okay?
Thank you, Daisy. Appreciate it for organizing.
Thank everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy.
Have you a great day.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Thank
Bye.
you, my Pastor Stephen Foltz, Pastor Julian Wong, and Pastor Mamie Lau.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.